Rasmus's goal yesterday was a little different than the previous two, but is there a through line you're seeing that's leading to the consistent offense he's had so far?
He's hungry. He's a hungry player, and that appetite is getting larger as he gets more comfortable within the league. So I think that's what we're seeing.
When it comes to late in the game yesterday, how did you feel that the forward group really handled that? Because that is a really tough test. You know, we mentioned the defense last night, but in terms of keeping them to the outside, it seemed like they also had a big hand in that.
I felt we got better as the game went along. Even after the first period, we popped a few clips up and showed some adjustments that we could make to their speed, their skill. They were down to 3 lines, and they used pretty much either McDavid was on the ice or Draisaitl the whole time in the third period. And I thought you can't be successful defending without the forwards helping as well. So they did a nice job to limit second chances. I mean, they sifted a lot of pucks to the net and hoped that their second chance would be the goal. And that's where Comrie stood tall, didn't flinch, and we didn't give them much. The goal was a perfect example. Nugent Hopkins' goal was a perfect example of what we denied every other time in the period, and that was exactly the type of goal they were hoping to get, was a loose rebound without us contesting it. And I thought our forwards and defensemen contested second chances very well, forced the first chance even to come from the outside ice, and that when you can do that and do with consistency, it makes it so much easier for everybody. We're all reading basically a repeat button of the same situation that we were effective at. Where I thought our forwards did struggle or were challenged more that they'll get better at is when we did have the puck, getting out of the zone or advancing it or making plays. Usually you have a team that presses that hard, you get a couple scoring chances back the other way, which we had, and you could probably have generated, by watching the film, 7, 8, 9 more if we were a little better with the puck. So we gave the puck back too quick for my liking, but that's something that'll resolve. The most important part of the process was denying, and that was great.
The first road game of a season, as a coaching staff, how much do you get just a lot of information in terms of how other teams are going to utilize that second change against your personnel? You know, especially some of the younger guys on your team.
Yeah, we're at the mercy, obviously, on the road. The other coaching staff has the right to last change, so we don't have anything to do with matchups. You just have to take it as it is. That's why I wanted to play in previous, last season, Cozens against top players, Middlestead against top players, because on the road, they're going to have to play against top players, and we don't have a choice. And so I don't get too worked up with that. For us, it's, we have to engage in the moment. I felt last night, we've talked to our players quite a bit about find a way to win. You don't have to be 3 for 4 on the power play. You don't have to have a perfect night. You don't have to feel good. Just find a way to win. And I love the attitude of that. I felt that our intent on winning last night was strong enough to push us through. And that's really most important for me. I think the tactical stuff we'll get better at, as I mentioned. You take the film, we're 3 games into the year, so you're going to take the film, you're going to show the guys exactly why we're doing this in practice or what areas to focus on to make improvements after the information. In the process, I want our guys to have fight, compete, and no doubt that they can win a hockey game in any manner. And that last night we had that group. Dahlin leading the way, and others had that attitude.
What do you think a start like this can do for J.J. Peterka?
Well, we're seeing his talent and his skill. So, I think anytime a guy with ability like that sees the back of the net, feels better about his game, it's a boost of confidence. So I think it's going to be a tremendous help to him to get a feel of early success. It's a grind. Everybody's fresh and healthy coming off of training camp, so the grind factor is going to be his challenge, as it is every player's challenge that he hasn't gone through yet. But I'm sure he'll handle that well. He's got a love for the game, and he competes very well too.
What's made JJ and Dylan an effective duo? These 3 games, and even in the preseason they've been together.
Well, they both have incredible speed. So when they do get turnovers or they go from defense to offense, their speed is incredible, matched by their their ability to play at that speed. You know, they can possess a puck and make a play at that speed. Some guys have great speed and they can't process at the speed they athletically have. These two guys can, and that's impressive. But what's most impressive that they both have is the change of gear. So if you think about it, you're attacking, and the defensemen are trying to time you, but you've got another gear that they can't get to as fast as you can. That's where those two are extremely gifted and potentially dangerous.
Expect Vinnie to stay in the lineup after the way he played last night.
You know, it's hard. It'd be hard even to think of taking Vinnie out. That doesn't mean it might not happen. We haven't made any decisions, but you know, we know that we have a healthy team right now in training camp. You know, I guess our goal as a coach, we want to have a challenging environment. We don't need to create a threatening environment. So it's tricky because you want to get guys in and involved and playing, knowing that the grind of it is everybody's eventually going to have quality time. I mean, it's the way the NHL's pro sports go. Early on, this is a challenge. So whether he's in or not tomorrow, he played a hell of a game last night, and we know he's an effective player that can help us win games, and he showed it again last night. But there's so many different factors that go on, especially this early in the season, on decisions. No team in the league is actually a good hockey team right now compared to what they're going to be in another month, and we're all fighting to get better and better faster than the next. So that continues to be our focus as it needs to be.